A family of musical instruments, found in many cultures, heard in many ages, known by many names. A family of musical instruments originating in Africa hundreds of years ago and found today here in Tucson, Arizona.
I'm Mark Holdaway. I'm the Kalimba guy. The Kalimba has become my life. I used to work as a radio astronomer at the National Radio Astronomy Observatory here in town, but they closed. I was visiting some friends on spring break while I was at graduate school, and one of them had bought this exact model of Kalimba, the Hugh Tracy Alto. And we were passing it around, playing it, and this stranger hears us from the street, and he walks in, and he says, "Hey, you guys have a Kalimba, can I play it?" And we give it to him, and he starts making the most amazing music.
The kalimba is a member of a whole family of instruments with origins in many regions of Africa. Instruments in the family include the mbira, the karimba, and lekembe, among others.
Hugh Tracy was born in 1903. He was born into a big family, and they sent him off to Zimbabwe, and he worked on his brother's tobacco farm. He was overseeing black men working in the fields. He discovered that they played these amazing instruments. He and some of the people that he first met on the tobacco farm would go across borders and just around Africa looking for the traditional music. Kalimba was a generic name, and I use Kalimba as a generic for all these. Karimba music or mbira music, it's all cyclical. You set up a chord progression and define a melody within that progression, and it ends, and you go back and do it again and again. What fraction of these need sanding, Jordan?
The kalimba and its music have become a central part of Mark Holdaway's life. In fact, he's found a way to share his passion for the kalimba by distributing instruments from 5 manufacturers to eager kalimba players and students around the world.
They'll send in orders on the internet. We match the kalimba with a book that will work with it and put that in a box and send it in the US mail. But it represents all the magical things you can do with the kalimba.
Many of the instruments Mark Holdaway plays and sells through Kalimba Magic are contemporary versions of more traditional, even ancient instruments.
1. Slow it down a little bit. This instrument is called mbira zabadzimu, which is the great mbira, or mbira of the ancestors. Traditionally, this is used by the Shona people in Zimbabwe, but it's spread across the world now.
Dawn Corso is an ethnomusicologist at the University of Arizona's Fred Fox School of Music. Her work with mbira focuses on the cultural aspects of the instrument and the long-standing oral tradition of teaching how the mbira is played.
Back to there. That's right. It's an oral tradition that really is passed from person to person, from master teacher to student. So if you think of your left only, when you learn through an oral tradition, if you take it out of your body, it's not yours. And so you really must absorb it mentally and in your body. That's good. You got it. You got it. You got it. Traditionally, the use is in a mbira ceremony. And the idea is that ancestors can help you. You can ask for help. You know, if you're having a difficult time, if you have a problem that you need to solve. But the way in which to bring the ancestors forth is through the ceremony in which people gather together and music is made.
The wood of the instrument represents the earth. The tines on the instrument represent all the living things on the earth, the grass, the cats, the dogs, the people. And when they act, they vibrate and make sound. But when they act, they don't act alone. Also, the voices of the ancestors chime in, either to say, yes, that's the right thing, or no, don't do that.
A family of musical instruments, found in many cultures, heard in many ages, known by many names. The kalimba and its musical relatives play a notable number of cultural and musical roles, not only in many African nations, but also here, today, in contemporary Tucson, Arizona.